Joe Hughes here, National Truck Club with Gary Scelzi. Gary,
how are you, Joe?
I know your business well. I know your brother well. I appreciate the quality work that you guys do on the West Coast, and I think it's just really great that Ford Motor Company said, "Why don't you guys bring your truck to the booth in Indianapolis?" I think that's awesome.
Well, we're honored and we're very proud to be a part of this.
Oh yeah.
My brother Mike and I started Scelzi Enterprises in 1979.
Yep.
I was 18 years old. My brother was a little older, had a lot more experience, and brought me along, and we started building truck bodies on the floor of a 4,500 square foot building, and turned into now over 20 acres and over 250,000 square feet of buildings and 400 employees.
And that is truly amazing. That's the way America. That's America, a good American story as far as I'm concerned.
An overnight success,
yeah,
right? 38 years.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, for all the Ford pros that couldn't be here at the show, I wish everybody had come, but they can't. I wanted to have the opportunity for them to see what you brought to the show. So
my pleasure.
Tell me what you will.
Let me take you over here and show you the Scelzi Enterprises combo body.
Great, yeah.
Okay. So what we have here is it's basically a combo flatbed and a utility body. Mm-hmm. If you look inside, our shelving has a curled corner, so it makes the shelving a lot stronger.
Get a close look at that shelf there, will you, Derek?
Mounted on a hat section, which stiffens the body in all ways. It's all one piece. Everything is welded, and all the seams are finished with bracing all behind here that you don't see.
Yeah.
You won't be able to get in there with your camera. Mm-hmm. We have our own extrusion with our rubber, double sealed.
Oh yeah.
Our doors are stronger than anybody in the industry. So if you look at the way we do our inner panel and make a hat section, it braces the outside of the door as well.
Oh, that's what you mean by a hat here, huh?
Uh-huh. Oh. It's almost like a top hat if you look at it.
It strengthens. Yeah, I see that.
The door locks in 3 places, similar to some of the competitors. But when you turn our handles, these are made exclusively for us. There's like a nylon bushing in there that makes everything nice and smooth when it turns.
Oh, yeah.
It also has a plastic bushing when it gets down to the bottom here to lock. So it has a short, strong throw here.
Yeah.
So if you try to break into that door, it's hard to bend that steel rod in a short area.
Yeah.
A longer rod, obviously, with no bracing, has a lot of leverage.
Right.
It's simple to bend. So it locks in 3 places, and it actually sucks the door up against the rubber. We also have a double rubber seal, so it doesn't wear the paint or the body.
Right.
Then if you look, just like a car door or the car rubber on the truck, or the door rubber in the truck, we have an angled V. So if water does get to the edge, if the guy doesn't have it shut all the way, the water will run down that track and right out the bottom and not into the compartment.
Sure, right.
Now, when we first started building our own utility bodies in the early or mid 1980s, we were so worried about keeping dust and dirt and water out, we never thought about what would happen if something fell inside of it. And we had a dirt contractor, his name was Cricket, pretty ornery old guy, and he called all upset one day that he had a problem. We said, "Well, gee, Cricket, what's the problem?" He said, "Well, my son knocked a hole in a gallon of oil and it filled in the compartment. He didn't know how to get it out." And we thought, wow, we never thought about if someone spilled something inside, what do you do? So if you look inside our compartments, we actually have a knockout. So if somebody did spill something and you wanted to wash it out with a hose, you pop the knockouts out and the water will drain right out or whatever else goes in there. So that was something that kind of caught us off guard. But again, focused on one thing was a big deal.
Right.
We've also got a gas shock, so the door opens with a shock. Instead of chains. And then, like I said, with that hat section, if the door does get damaged, you don't throw the door away. A lot of guys have a really thin door with no bracing. Okay, it's a lot easier and a lot less expensive to build it than the way we do it.
Yeah.
But if a door gets dented, it doesn't oil can when you push on it. So you're able to grind it. You can actually put a filler, grind it, and finish it and save the door.
Oh, I see.
Another thing that we do that no one else does is our hinge is a full stainless steel hinge with a stainless steel hinge block and a stainless steel monobolt with a nylon bushing. So the doors are always smooth opening and closing. Now we've had our doors hit. We've had them hit by trains, we've had them hit by cars, we've had them and actually fold the whole side of the body up and the door not come off the hinges. It actually stays, so we're pretty proud of that.
That is cool.
Another thing that we have, obviously our stainless steel wheel well, which stiffens all in the corners, so it makes this body really strong in the corners. But when we have our heavy duty racks put over here, our end panels are 14 gauge. A lot of guys are 16 gauge. We go 14, but where that rack bolts, we also put a strip of 10 gauge across the back, all the way the length of the compartment.
Sure.
So it stiffens it because we know that the customer is going to overload everything.
Every time.
And that's being in business since 1979. Our main core in the Valley in Fresno, California was farming. And farmers told us, look, if there's a paved road here that they can drive 50 miles an hour on, or a road that's dirt with chuck holes in it that they go 50 miles an hour, they're going to go down the road with chuck holes. So that's how we built our understructures. So one thing that you don't see as well is we use more bracing and more 10 gauge steel underneath our bodies than anybody in the industry. We've had several people tell us, wow, you guys put a lot of steel in this thing. But we do it because most customers abuse the thing. And let's say most guys take the truck for 5 years and they're going to write it off or depreciate it in 5 years. Well, a lot of our customers take the trucks, when they're done after 5 years, they remove the body, they might put a paint job on it and put it on the next truck and get another life out of it.
I've heard that. Yeah.
So even though our bodies are more expensive than most people in the industry, they last longer. And we've got the proof to show that.
Yeah.
We've also had a customer that did diesel truck engine repairs, a subsidiary of Cummins, that said, hey, look, I get 65% return in 5 years on my truck with your body on it, so I want a new body every year. So it works both ways.
Sure, yeah.
So,
winner either way.
Exactly. So our open top lid is a full hinge.
Yeah.
It's deeper than most. Same type of thing. When you open it, gas shock. Again with the hat section. This stiffens that lid, so you can actually close it from this side. You'll notice there's no wobble, no give at all.
Yeah.
And then with our dividers, we use an aluminum divider. Instead of a plastic or tin, we use aluminum, which makes it very nice.
Sure.
So if a guy's got his nuts or bolts or whatever he wants to put in there, it works out very well for him. So I'm too short here.
Me too.
I'm vertically challenged. And then we use a shock on each end. This particular body doesn't have it, but we have an electronic master lock system.
Oh, I see. That's what this is here.
Yeah. And we also have a manual locking system. Now we have a patent pending on this because I don't know of any other manufacturer that has a lock for their open top. So there's actually an arm that comes through, that comes around and wraps itself through that. So
on
it locks on both ends, so you can't open the open top lid.
Yeah, that's great.
So that's something that's kind of unique.
This is a pretty sturdy top too.
It is. Well, what we found, again, we try to look at the worst case of abuse you can possibly have.
Right.
So I don't know how many people, they put signs on their bodies that do not step on the open top lids.
Yeah, no step.
Well, no step. Stay off of with a circle and a line through it. We've actually seen in the fields that guys won't take the ladder off the rack. They'll get close to wherever they're going to work and climb up on the truck, and which I'm going to do for you here if I can do it without falling down.
Yeah. Or strangling yourself on this darn cord that you got to.
So on our open top lid, we've had as many as 4 or 5 250-pound, 300-pound people, and you can jump up and down on the lids with no issues. Now, not many people can do that.
Wow.
But we know if a guy can get close to his job. Now, he's not supposed to do this, of course, but we know what they're not supposed to do, and we know what they do.
They don't care. Yeah.
So they'll pull next to wherever the project they're going to work on, not pull the rack off the ladder rack, and they'll go to work on whatever they're doing.
Yeah.
So that happens. But if you want to do that with one of our bodies, you're more than welcome to do it. It won't be an issue.
Did you want to jump to me?
No.
No. Okay. All right. Just thought I'd ask.
We use a 12-gauge diamond plate floor. So this is very similar to the back of a flatbed where guys can put concrete or whatever they need to put back here.
Right.
And then they've got the rest of the floor space. Again, with all the bracing that we put in our bodies, the floors don't oil can. And I guarantee you when I say that, a lot of you out there know that, yeah, the floors oil can, and then they end up with a big washboard type floor.
Yeah.
That won't happen with a Scelzi body. Tailgate slips in and out. Comes with a tailgate protector, and then a 2x3 rack that we can also make swing bars or removable. The pins are with a stainless steel rivet, so the guys don't lose the pins, because that happens a lot as well.
Exactly.
And then there's a place to store the racks further forward if they don't want to put anything in there. The aluminum racks that you see here, and I'm going to try to do this without falling down.
You did it.
This is our own extrusion that we have made for us, and we make every single part on this. So we form our own stainless steel racks, or our own stainless steel posts. In the old days, they used to make a steel stake. AJ Bear is what we made a copy of. Excuse me. And a lot of that stuff was made overseas, and then they were all inconsistent. So we spent quite a bit of money. We have our own die, and we have the old type steel stake that fits in a stake pocket for guys that really abuse their stuff as well. So we have that as an option as well.
Speaking of options, it seemed to me like I heard I think you told me earlier that y'all do like 40% of your stuff is custom.
Yes, we do. We have a lot of large construction accounts from all over the United States, propane companies and things like that. What Scelzi does is so much different than everybody else is we don't tell them what they need. We let them tell us what they need. And then let's say if they're in the paving business, we do stuff from 10-yard dumps to 9-foot dumps, little tippers with the fold-down sides.
Yeah.
But we let the customer tell us what they're going to do with it. Then we show them what we've done in the past, and then we design with our engineers what it is they really want and what they need.
Yeah.
Sometimes as simple as a step. Sometimes they want a body-mounted lower. They want a certain box in a certain area to hold a certain thing that needs to be watertight.
Sure.
So we design that for them, and then they actually name it. I don't know that I'm allowed to name certain customers, but we have dozens of customers from all over the United States that we're exclusive builder for
That's
them.
the Joe Hughes truck type thing.
Exactly.
Okay.
So we let them tell us, we design it, make it strong, and make it last. And then they have we have cone trucks for the city, cone trucks for the freeways. We have dump trucks that are patch trucks. We've got regular paving trucks. We've got concrete guys, framing people, whatever it is you do, electrical contractors, whatever it is, we have a specialty body that we can build for you, or we have a standard type thing that works very well.
Such as this.
Such as this. We also have options for vice stands, cone holders.
Yeah.
I mean, it goes on, and it's endless. But if you notice as well, our gas bezels and diesel bezels, you don't see any rivets. This is made exclusively for us. The studs are on the back side, tack welded in and used with a lock nut. Same way with our handles, they're studs, so it's nice, clean finish, and also has a gasket. Our bodies all mount in a minimum of 6 places. We use grade 8 bolts with lock nuts. Everything we have uses lock nuts because in the field, things get vibrating,
Yeah, they do.
and so things come loose. We don't want that to happen. Another thing that's unique to us, our frame extensions and the way we mount our bodies. We use a laser cut frame extension that we actually form to match the frame, and then we bolt it on. So let's say this goes to a dealer, and the dealer says, hey, I want this truck, but instead of a crew cab, I want an extended cab or a regular cab, but I want that body on it. Well, we make it fairly simple to remove the body and make a clean frame. So that's something that's been standard with Scelzi for years, so we don't put a piece of angle iron or weld a piece of channel that doesn't fit the frame with.
Yeah.
That's just not how we do things.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why we're so busy and one of the leaders in California.
The other thing that I've heard is that you guys do an exceptional job of getting a finish on your body that's pretty much standard on the chassis itself, the cab. Is that?
Well, it's true. When you buy a new truck, especially a Ford, how nice the finish is on it. We feel that the finish should match on the cab. So no matter what brand it is, we match the color to the cab. This is Ford white. This is a urethane. It's done in a paint booth off the chassis, and it's baked at 140 degrees for over an hour. So once it's finished, it's also baked and it's hardened just like the factory.
Right.
So this finish will stay just that nice. This was not made for the show. This is right off of a lot.
This is it.
This is a standard deal for us. So if a guy has it for 3 years and doesn't wash it or doesn't clean it, when he goes to wash it, it'll be just like the cab. It'll last that long. But there's an expense to having that type of product.
Yeah, there is.
But we're not there for everybody. We're here for the people that want value and longevity. And that's what we've always done. We built quality. We want it to last because our name is on it. If you're looking for a Scelzi, there's a Scelzi. There's several of them at our work.
Yeah, right.
We have my kids that are coming up in the business. My brother's grandson's coming up in the business. So it's a family operation. You'll see any of us walking around that place at all times. You never know where we're going to be, even with 400 employees. And we know every single aspect of the business.
Yeah.
And I think that's a lot of what's made it so successful. And another thing is, if you call Scelzi Enterprises and you want to talk to a Scelzi, you'll get one. Or if we're busy, we'll call you back. And that's something it's funny to hear. Thank you for calling me back, because I feel that's how you're successful. You have to call people back.
Of course, that's an opportunity just waiting for the call back, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, that's great.
So one other thing, all our racks and our bumpers on our utility bodies are all prime coated and powder coated on top. So the racks and the bumpers are powder coated. The rest of it is all urethane paint. So with the abuse that gets, we use a powder coat.
Sure, that's understandable, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, Gary, thank you.
Thank you guys. It was a pleasure.
Great to walk around this. I learned quite a few things myself. I thought I was too old to learn anything, but
never too old.
Yeah, I guess.
Yep.
I guess
All
that
right.
proves it.
Well, thank you guys. We appreciate you guys looking at Scelzi.
Yeah, thanks.